What's up, YouTube? Today we have another piece of Sony car audio equipment on the table. This time it's a head unit. The Sony CDX-GT42IPW. I'll quickly go through the functions of this unit. It's pretty basic. It has an auxiliary input on the front, a CD player. It has an iPod cable integrated into the back. It has two sets of pre-out, a front, and then a rear/subwoofer output. The Drive S selectable sub-out that it proudly displays on the front is actually just a low-pass filter that can be engaged on the rear channels at either 78 or 125 Hz. It has a built-in EQ, although it's only 3 bands, low, mid, and treble. And it also has a separate subwoofer control. And while this is not a rare or unique or even particularly valuable item, this one has a bit of nostalgia for me because my first car audio system ever used a unit that, at least cosmetically, was very similar to this. But that's about all the chit chat I'm going to do on the functionality of the unit. We'll go ahead and move on to some testing here. But a couple quick observations so far, mostly negative. The noise floor on this unit seems to be pretty poor. It picks up a lot of background noise. The auxiliary input especially, although I'll attribute some of that to the cabling and the fact that it's hooked up to a cheap and dirty Chinese power supply. But even when using the internal CD player, if you have a quiet passage and you turn it up, there's just quite a bit of background noise going on. So kind of a negative there. Also, the internal amplifier, and this is not unique to this unit, this applies to most car radios that I've found. The internal amplifier is pretty wimpy in this thing. Doesn't really push these speakers all that hard. But on the positive side, the internal FM tuner is very strong on this because it's picking up a station with no antenna attached at all.
On second thought, forget that one turns out kinda cool. Each and every time you have a fight.
But that's more than enough chit chat. We'll go ahead and, using the Distortion Detector 1, we'll explore this unit and check the clip points, both using the internal amplifier and also the RCA pre-outs. Alright, we have the Distortion Detector 1, and it's hooked up with alligator clips to my little homemade terminal strip that I threw together real quick. And we'll go ahead and check the 40 Hz distortion point of the internal amplifier. This is with all EQ settings set flat. It's detecting the signal, still clean. And 27 is the point of distortion using the internal amplifier. Now if we boost the bass, or boost the low frequency, as you can see, we get distortion sooner. With the lows boosted to 10 plus 10 dB, 24 is the highest clean volume using the internal speaker amplifier. We'll go ahead and turn that boost off. Get back to the main menu, and we'll try the 1 kHz 0 dB tone. You see it's already detecting the signal. So it's only clean to 26 on the 1 kHz tone, and that is with all settings flat. See what happens if we boost the mid up +2, and that's volume 25, it goes into distortion. Now we'll go ahead and test the RCA pre-outs. Alright, now we'll check the distortion point using the RCA pre-outs. And of course we're going to start out again with a 40 Hz tone at 0 dB. It's detecting the signal at 29, and this is kind of interesting. I believe 1 volt RMS triggers the distortion detector, but it doesn't have a long way to go before it enters distortion. So, detects the signal at 29, but distorts at 31. We'll go ahead and see what effect adding low boost has. So low boost is clean up to plus 6 dB at volume 30 using the 40 Hz tone. Now we'll go ahead and try the 1 kilohertz tone at 0 dB. And same deal, detects at 29, clean at 30, distortion at 31, and we'll go ahead and also see what kind of effect an equalizer boost has. So sounds fiddly. So you can only add 1 decibel of boost to the mid range at volume 30 before you enter distortion. So now we'll go ahead and hook a subwoofer up and just do a little music test on this, and also do a frequency sweep with the speakers to see how hard this thing can push them. Okay, so I was curious about what effect the subwoofer control would have on the RCA outputs and their distortion point. And we'll go ahead and I'll show you. I still have the speakers hooked up, so you're going to hear the 40 Hz tone playing through the speakers, but we're going to go ahead and turn it up. And this is with all the equalizers set flat, including the sub output. So we're clean up to 31 with the subwoofers set to 0 dB. But if we turn them up to plus 10 dB, watch our distortion point. So quite a difference. Alright, here's the setup again on the kitchen table. This time we've added in the Sony EXM302 2-channel amplifier, and we're using the MTX Pro Audio speaker as a subwoofer right now, running off that amplifier. Disappointingly, I found that the crossover controls are very limited with this unit. It has the low pass filter on the rear channels, which can either be off, 78 Hz low pass, or 125 Hz low pass. But what I was hoping was that it also had a high pass filter on the front channel at least. But that does not seem to be the case. When you have the low pass filter engaged, that's all it is a low pass filter on the rear channels. So not really that flexible unit by itself, but this was an entry-level radio back in its time, and we're going to go ahead and do a music test and stay tuned after that. But we'll go ahead and do a woofer flex test using the power of the internal amplifier of this unit. final verdict on this Sony car audio head unit is it's not bad. It's about $100 unit new, I would guess, or it was back in its heyday, and you get what you pay for. It's definitely good for someone just starting out in car audio, or someone who might want to change out their factory CD player. But if you're really wanting to add multiple aftermarket amplifiers and have a lot of control over your system, this unit might not be right for you. But other than that, it will get the job done. And as always, thanks for watching my videos. If you enjoyed what you saw here today, like and subscribe. There'll be plenty more stuff like this here in the future.